All right. So you came to me because you got a bunch of questions. Assuming that I have answers for everything. I mean, I don't even know what the questions are in the world, let alone the answers. But go ahead, hit me with your best shot. What is it that you needed to know today?
What is the true purpose of life?
The meaning of life, why are we here? What's the,
Why did we come on Earth?
that's ultimately that's probably one of the hardest questions to answer because people are trying to come up with that from their mind, from their thinking, from their brain, from their consciousness. And you'd have to almost be in a no mind state to even contemplate a answer to that. It's very limited because you're just using human knowledge. I mean, I think the great philosophers and the Indians up there in the Himalayas and everybody meditated in Tibet and India and everywhere else. Why are we here? What's the purpose? I think that's been the first question since the caveman have been around. To me, there's the people hear me, oh, you always say the purpose is to love and serve and all this stuff and forgive. Okay, that's great. But what is the ultimate? Why are we in a body? Why do we have a life? Why do we have free will? Why do we have an ego? That's the greater question. Why were we created? If God is everything, why did he need us? He was enough for himself already. So the real question is this God just dreaming us? And in this dream, we're giving the belief that we have free will, and we believe that we are an I, a me, a separate entity. That's where we get into trouble. So now we're talking about a whole matrix of things. It's like, wait a minute, where do you go with this, Reverend Bill? And it's like, first off, people say, you believe in reincarnation. I go, no. And they go, what do you mean, no? I say, because I do not believe in incarnation. What do you mean? I don't believe this life is real. And if you're not born, you don't die, you don't go to heaven, and you don't reincarnate, because this is all a dream. So it's like the dreamer dreaming a dream. You dream that you have a life, you dream you're in pain, you believe that you die, and you believe you go to heaven, then you believe you come back. But in essence, it's God dreaming God. And then we have this ego that thinks we're in control. Well, we are, but we're not. We could blame God for it all. But that didn't answer your question. So that was my question. I'm asking you the stuff that I asked when I was like 5 years old. And I drive a Sunday school teacher crazy. It's like, what? No, there was Adam and Eve, and God made us, and there's only begotten son, and all this stuff. And I'm going, yeah, but however, and my oldest thing was with Adam and Eve in Sunday school. Well, Adam and Eve, where'd all these other people come from? They only had a couple of kids, right? Where'd all these other people come from? Anyway, so why was Adam and Eve there? And so I could just give you my philosophical take on this, my philosophical take, and it could be wrong tomorrow in my own mind even, because as I expand my thinking and my awareness, I'm still chasing things. So one of the things I'm chasing is understanding this whole concept of having a created world. I mean, this universe is just so vast. And I had a friend, pilot from Vietnam. I flew with. I was his crew chief door gunner, and he's an amateur astrologist. He's got a big telescope. He looks through in the desert there in Arizona, and he sees the stars. He takes pictures, and he was talking about, it's so many seconds to get to the moon. Traveling at light speed, we could be there. It's 8 minutes traveling at light speed to get to the sun. But the end of our universe, it gets into thousands of years. And then to get to the next one, it's thousands and thousands of light years to reach the first, next universe, next big thing. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, because we have billions of these systems out there, or more. We don't know where the end is at. So are we all that? Are we all it? Is this it? Just us? And that's hard to believe. I mean, it's harder to believe that we're the only people in the universe of this. You know, you could go billion years traveling at light speed. There's still planets and stuff. It's hard to believe that we're the only rational being alive. So why are all these things created? Why are there planets? Why? So you could drive yourself crazy with that. And I don't. That was my thinking 5 years old, up to 10, 12, teenager. And then I started saying, well, you know what? I'm not going to debate why we're here or what this is. I'll just accept it as is, whether I want to accept it as a dream or not. Accepting it as a dream makes it a lot easier when you have things happen to you in life. For example, war. Oh my God, you're in a war. People are killing. You're killing people. People are dying. Nobody's dying. There is no war. Pain is only because you believe in this existence. You believe in the material world. Therefore, you accept pain. You believe in pain. None of that is there. But you can't tell somebody that's just lost a child or lost somebody in a war, or somebody that says cancer and they're in pain or they're going through troubles. You can't tell them it's not real, because they have a body, they have an ego, they have what I call an I-ness. They are aware of their own self, separate from everybody else. And that separation gives them pain, suffering, and everything else. But they believe everything that's happening is real. For me to philosophically go on like this, you have to realize that I too have an I-ness. I too believe at some level I am I, right? I give myself an identity. And if you have an ego, an I-ness, then therefore you have a body. And if you're in this material world, if you believe this dream to be true, you have to have a body. You have a material body, a physical body. And then if you die and you believe in heaven, then you got a heavenly body of some kind, astral body, cosmic body, body of light, rainbow, whatever. So as long as you retain a self-identity of any kind, something that says you're not the one, and my philosophy is what I call is, my philosophy is oneness. There is nothing else. There's nothing outside of yourself. It's all you. And that's a great philosophical thing, but it's almost impossible to live. Well, it is, because you see everything else is separate from yourself. But it's no different than taking a drop of water from the ocean and taking that to the middle of the United States, Kansas, and that drop of water sitting there and thinking it's just a drop of water, but it's really, that is the ocean. Even if it's 2,000 miles away in the middle of the country, that's the ocean. But it's lost its identity with the ocean. It thinks of itself as a drop. So we're like projections of the divine. And the divine, I'm assuming, as and just assuming, because I don't know why he, she, it, the force, whatever God, why they would create life and observe it or feel it or become it or watch it, and then watch everything that happens with humanity in particular. I mean, life on this earth has always been pain and suffering, no matter what 100-year span you go to. Wars, there's cruelty, and everybody in life, there's nobody that's ever been born that doesn't suffer from pain at some level. Nobody just goes through life. So why? So I'm at that point, go back to where I was trying to come from. at that point where I don't care why. I'll play my role. I'll be a good dreamer. And if that's all about a dream, I want to dream good dreams. And why I'm here, I have a purpose. And this keeps me focused on where I'm evolving to. And I do believe that we do evolve. And our behavior, our actions, our thoughts, our desires, our karmic baggage gives us the future that we get. So now again, we're just accepting the fact that we're human. We have, but again, there's a part of me that doesn't accept that. It's like, well, that's fun, but you have to recognize, because if you wake up and you stub your toe, you feel pain. Then you got to know, well, you know what? This may not be real, but the pain for me, I'm feeling. So unless you've passed that point in time, which I don't know anybody that has. So we have to deal with that reality. So why I can't ask, why is all this created? I don't know. But I do know that if you're here in this world, then you're kind of obligated. I'm going philosophical and spiritual here now. I feel obligated to add some positive energy to what's going on. So what we have is we have a day, you wake up in the morning and it's like, you got choice. You can live your life fully in love with everything that happens and accepting everything that happens, or you can be a victim and everything's happening to you negative, and why is this happening and what's going on? All that stuff. I choose that. I choose the path of light. I choose the path of positive. It's just what I call positive road. In other words, no matter what happens, it's okay. Whatever happens, is supposed to happen. And your job is just basically to add something. So, like right now, you got a war going on in the Ukraine, and you got all kinds of people that are going stressing out over this. I mean, especially people living there. I mean, that's obvious, right? But worldwide, you get here in the United States or in Canada or India, there's nobody blowing us up yet. We're feeling that pain for those people. You can't watch the news without going, oh my God, that was my wife, that's my kids, that's my mother, my brother out there getting killed. So we as a world really are one family. And what happens in the Ukraine or in Africa or in China or India or California, Bolivia, wherever it's at, it's happening to all of us. It's a universal experience. And if you don't have a television set, you don't have the news, you may not be consciously aware of that. But as a whole species, the planet senses this. And right now, that's why I'm particularly dealing with people that are coming to me, in fact, several today, that are coming to me every day, totally stressed out, depressed. Young people, my God, young people. I mean, from 18 to 45, they're depressed. They feel hopeless. They can't control anything. They see nothing but negative. They see drugs out there. They see shootings. They see lying politicians. Name anyone you want, they're all lying. If their lips are lying. So it's terrible. So people get hung up in this it's terrible world. And then their worry and their anxiety adds that negative feed and negative energy to the world. So that's why it's important not to get too involved in the news and not to pass bad news. Everybody wants to pass, oh, look, they get something off the internet, they pass it and share all this negative stuff, and they all have an opinion. They're infecting the world with more negative pain. It's better to to give positive, loving light, positive responses, enlightening stories, inspirational things. You're here to add something to the quality of life. And so when people add negative and attack people, attack ideas, attack somebody's opinion, no. So think about it. You wake up in the morning, what can I do to add value to this world? Make it just a little better. It may just be smiling at somebody. It may be listening to somebody. It may be doing a good deed. Maybe it's just being quiet and listening. Or maybe it's praying or meditating. People just go, oh, yeah, no. Praying is powerful. And a lot of people praying around the world, it does the energy. Greater yet are those people meditating, bringing up the energy even more. Now, greater yet than that, because most people consider meditation, they're going through some kind of ritual, and they're imagining and visualizing light and energy and doing all kinds of things. But they're always kind of going through procedure, counting how many times they breathe or focusing on the breath. After meditation, when you finished all your rituals, you finished all the techniques, in that time, when you finish your meditation, when you sit quietly, no more talking. You just listen to God. You just listen to the silence, the universe. That's when you change. That's when the world changes. That's when you evolve, because you're shutting off your mind. Because as long as you're meditating, well, great. You're meditating, you're doing the techniques. You have to think about the techniques to do the techniques. I'm breathing up, I'm breathing down, I'm visualizing light. That's all mind. You need that to open up the mindless state, but that's not the. It's only when you finish that and surrender. All right. Praying and meditating is like talking to God. But conversation is a two-way thing. You talk and somebody has to listen. So if you're doing all the talking, you're not listening. So ultimately, you have to learn to listen. But when you're listening, like if you get some very powerful sage in some cave in the Himalayas, or in some church someplace, or wherever they're at, in their home, their closet, wherever they're at, truly great meditators are adding value to this world, and they're keeping this world from the brink of atomic warfare, for example. I mean, think about this. 1945, we blew up 2 cities in the world, were blown up by atomic bombs. Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. And supposedly brought around the ending of the war, the World War II. But think about that. We've had that power all my life. I was born a few months after that. So for 76 years, we have not dropped another atomic bomb on any city or civilization in the world. Wow. But we've had all these countries develop it. Nobody's dropped it. That's like, to me, is like a miracle. It's like, I mean, we got the Pakistanis got bombs, Indians got bombs, Israel got bombs, France has got them, Britain's got them, Israel got them, North Korea's got them, China, Russia, the list goes. It's a big club. And yet, what is stopping that from happening? And there's a lot of crazy people out there, crazy leaders. So there's something bigger going on. So I like to think that it doesn't take many. It only takes a handful of very powerful people to change the vibration of this whole thing, to keep a lid on it. What they call a critical mass. When you get so many people, it's like what they call a critical mass. You can change things. It's not the majority of people. It's the power and the energy of a group. And depending on what they're fighting and what they're doing, the numbers could vary. But anyway, a handful of people creates a world vibration change. Anyway, I don't know if that answered your question or not, but basically, there's no real answer. It really gets down to you. And you have to look at the real question you got to ask is, all right, you have no control over creating this dream. You didn't create the universe, didn't do any of that stuff. You just, here I am. All right. What is my individual purpose? And it'll vary from person. But ultimately, everybody here, and it's just a matter of how you do it. It's about loving, serving, and forgiving as you go. But you have to love yourself first. You have to learn to forgive yourself. You have to be grateful to yourself for all that you got. And without gratitude, you stop the flow of good things. Too many people are always complaining what they don't have, the lack of. I have nobody in my life to love me. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough food. I need a better car. Anyway, be grateful for everything you have. Whatever the list is, be grateful for it. But give. I tell people, you're not here to be loved. You're here to love. You're not here to be understood. You're here to understand. You're not here to give or to get. You're here to give. So basic rule, add something of value before you leave this world. I don't care if it's something like planting a tree. A tree will grow years and years after oxygen and shade to people and fire. So always realize it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about greater. It's about the oneness. So whatever you do to add to that energy, the oneness, then you're doing the right thing. Not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be a saint. Not everybody is a sage. Not everybody is going to fit a cure for cancer. Some people can be teachers. Some people are going to be a mother, a father. It doesn't matter. Whatever role you have in life, do it with love and service. Just love and service. It's not about making billions of dollars. We got more billionaires now in the world than we've ever had, ever. I mean, it's unbelievable how much money out there. And I'll guarantee that the happiness level on those people is no greater than for the normal person. I met a very, very rich man, but he didn't think he was. Guy was only worth about 800-900 million. I mean, he's telling me about he's got all these sports cars. He was going to get another Ferrari, and he was going to get some other kind of sports car. And he had a 12-car garage, and he had this, he had that. He went on for all this time, all the stuff he had. And I looked, and he had, 800 million. He's going to go, he wanted to make $1 billion. And then he was already setting his sights on 20 billion. I let him go, talked. He finished. I looked at him. I said, well, I've got something you'll never have. He goes, what? I got everything. I said, no, I have enough. You're never going to reach that place in your life where you have enough. When you get 20 billion, you're going to want 40 billion. It's never ending. You get this power, you're going to get more. You get this house, it's 50,000 square feet. No, you want 100,000 square feet. Now you want 10 homes. I mean, you can only wear one set of clothes at a time, one pair of shoes at a time. You can only sleep one bed at a time. And yet we have people out there that have thousands of these things. Does it add to their level of happiness? So seeking money, power, fortune, sexual conquest, all this stuff, it's all short-sighted. Because it's always about gratifying yourself in this material world. But when you start thinking about expanding your oneness for prosperity and good things for all the people around you, as far as you can extend, you're working for the one. Then it's good for everybody. And if you're accumulating your money because you want to create this great fund where you can pay for college for people and you can give away and you can do all this charitable work, that's good. So money is not evil. It's your focus on it. How many sports cars do you need? You know, unfortunately, you look at rich people, they got they got barns, all kinds of cars, right? I mean, it's like, come on. Anything be taken to extremes. So be satisfied with enough. If you can wake up and just go, I got enough. This is good. See, people take that extreme in the whole life. Like, for example, they marry somebody and it's really good in their 20s. All of a sudden, they wake up one day and their partner's got wrinkles, gray hair, going bald, getting fat. Well, then they start looking around for something different. You know, that made them happy once. Now this doesn't make them happy anymore. You know. Love the one you're with. Love what you got. Whatever you do, love it. Not the opposite philosophy, which is only do a job you love to do. Well, you know, nobody'd ever clean their toilet. Come on. You know, it's like, you know, whatever you do it with love. Do it with attention. Just do it. Not everybody can sit around and make their living off of a blog, you know, and being a rock star. It's like, come on, there's real stuff out there. There's work. But whatever work you do it for the one, the greater one. You're doing it to serve God. And everybody, you see God in everybody, therefore everything you do is service for all. It's all done for God. So it doesn't matter doesn't matter if you're selling a product or building something or repairing something, or if you're the executive of some $billion, dollar company. Makes no difference. Love, service, and forgiveness. Now, most people get the love and service, but I found people never forgive themselves. They judge themselves too harshly. It's like they expect themselves to be, well, other people could do this, but I knew better and I did it, so therefore I can't forgive me because I'm smarter. I try to tell myself, God can forgive you, but you're too good to forgive yourself. Come on. Are you better than God? So that's where it's at. So I don't know if that helps you out or not, but that's kind of in a nutshell why I can't really answer that question, because it takes you down all these different paths. And in a secret, if I was going to create a religion, it'd be so simplistic. It would have no scriptures. It would just be enjoy the day, love, forgive. You don't need any scriptures for that. You don't have to teach a baby how to laugh. You know that? You don't have to teach a baby how to laugh. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So, and a baby knows when it's being loved, and a baby knows the difference between loving and hating or anger. Those emotions, you don't have to teach a baby. So just love, serve, forgive. If you can't forgive yourself, you can't forgive others. If you can't love yourself, you can't love others. And if you have no gratitude, then you'll never be satisfied. You'll never have enough. You'll always be a victim. Because you really do have enough. You're breathing, you got enough. You're still alive, you still got a day left to serve. Anyway, I record this for you. I got to figure out how to get it to you, though. Let's see. When I got it, I might be able to save this on a private video for you for a while. I can put it on my YouTube as a non-published, not public, and then you could go to it if you want. And I'll send you a link to it. But
so we're here to evolve, and as we evolve, the suffering really helps us evolve, and the suffering really helps us give more love, service, and forgiveness.
Yeah, suffering is just a tool. And I have to change that from suffering, because I have pain, but I don't suffer. I have things happen that people go, that's terrible. I don't judge anything as good or bad. It's like, I got surgeries coming up. They could be, oh, bad, that's bad. And I go, no, it's just surgeries. Well, yeah, you might lose your eyes. I might lose my eyes. Who cares? I still got me. I'm always me, right? So pain is inevitable. That's going to happen to everybody. Suffering is a choice. So you got suffering going on is when you buy into this and, oh, it's terrible, this hurts, and moan and groan and complain, because you can have pain and still be happy. Happiness is not based on the level of pain you have in your life. But when you choose to suffer, you're taking it on. And now you're emotionally bought into it. So don't suffer. Pain's okay. No pain, no gain. I mean, even the Buddhists, I mean, he's telling people the pain's going to make you grow, right? I think all major religions realize that it's pain that brings people to their church. Pain's what brings people to the altar, basically. Hey, help me, I got pain, help save me. So, but you shouldn't have to have that as a motivation. You should be able to live your life and go, geez, if I put my hand in the fire, it's going to burn. That will be painful. I don't want to do that. One time should be enough. Oh, that burned. But people don't. They're always making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over and over again. And they wonder why they have pain and suffering. You're married and you have an affair, then you have another affair, then you have another affair, and you do it, and you wonder why your marriage went down, and then you get all kinds of trouble, and you wonder why you're not happy. Then you have to lie about covering up, and it's crazy, right? So lead an ethical, honest, truthful, loving life, and you wouldn't need any advice. Unfortunately, you go to college, they don't give you a degree. Yeah, I want to get my master's degree in truth. I want to get my doctorate in love. No, they don't have it. And so is something else. Nobody teaches you how to be a good father, be a good husband. But if you just follow the pathway of love, the path of forgiveness, you don't need no training. Geez, if I did that to that person, they're going to hurt. They'll be in pain. They'll feel bad. I don't want to be responsible for that. Therefore, I won't do that. I won't steal from that person, because those persons will feel sad. They may need that. It could cause problems. So if you always thought about the greater consequence of your action, unfortunately, we have souls out there inhibiting bodies right now that have no empathy for anything outside of themselves. I mean, we really have a generation of people that are, it's them. The focus is on them. The good news is those souls will eventually evolve. Maybe not in your lifetime. There's only one direction they can go. Eventually they will evolve. Eventually there'll be so much pain and suffering in their life, they'll realize, oh, doing drugs every day, that wasn't so good. It wiped me out this lifetime, took all my money, took my health. So eventually they realize, well, I can't do drugs, I can't do alcohol, and I better be faithful to my wife and my country and my family. And you start learning these lessons through pain, by getting caught, by suffering the consequences. So that's
you are so evolved.
What was that?
So you are so evolved. You're a 5-daughter, like you're here only to give, and then we are here. We are not as evolved as you, but you're going through so much more suffering.
Let's back this whole train up. Number one, I am you. See, you got to look at this in the greater thing. We are the one. When you start separating people out, so and everybody has pain. But you reach a point where through meditation, through lessons learned from whatever levels, you evolve to a place where the you has become the greater you. Truly, a spiritual person is one who is not selfishly focused on their own ego needs or wants, but they're into the greater self, realizing that if my brother and my sister are hurting, that's me, and they need help. But you can't go out and just randomly give help, because it's like you take a guy that's terrible with his budget. Oh, this guy's broke. These are gonna get you pay off his bills. You give him some money. Guess what? You come back a year later and he's broke. Right? He wins the lotto and he's broke. He ends up. I know people that have won the lotto and became bankrupt. So it's like, what? So it's an evolution, but you can't force people to change for the better. You can't force people to see life in a different light. So it is what it is. So no, nobody, see, when you start saying this person is spiritual and this person is more highly evolved, and then you are separating yourself. Remember my example with the ocean. You're making yourself a drop of the ocean in Kansas. And I'm trying to tell you, no matter where you're at, you're the ocean. You got to look at the greater picture. So when you start saying I am, think about this. When you start saying I am, and unfortunately a lot of people others say I am wicked, I'm lousy, I'm sad, I'm depressed, all these adjectives, whatever you say you are, you are. So be very careful when you start affirming, you are love. You say, I am love, I am light, I'm compassion, I am one. I mean, whatever you throw out there, it's it. That's why Alcoholics Anonymous and all these 12-step groups have saved millions of lives. It's a beautiful thing. I wish continue doing what they're doing. If I was in charge and could redirect them a little bit, I'd say, stop your meetings at the beginning where everybody gets up and says, I'm Bill and I'm alcoholic, or I'm a drug addict, or I'm a sex offender, or every time they say that, they're reaffirming the negative part of themselves. They should get up there and say, I am a child of God. I am love. I'm light. It would change the focus of where they're at. So I'm thinking with some of these 12-step groups, eventually, after decades in it or whatever, I think some of the members will eventually affirm that. But when you affirm every day that you're an alcoholic, or every day you're a drug addict, or you got anger issues or whatever, it's working for them in the beginning. It gets them off. It saves their lives. No doubt. So I don't want anybody to go, no. I'm just saying there's a next step from that one. They got their 12 steps. I'm saying there's a 13th step. Let's do the 13th step. And the 13th step it's all spiritual. It's one. So 13th step is just recognition and understanding of your oneness. I am one. Meaning you and I are one. Meaning that tree, I got redwood trees in the backyard. I am them. Cat running around the backyard. I am the cat. It's all one. And when you reach a state of samadhi, when you go into, a breathless state and you get this oneness thing, it's once you've experienced it once, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, no, I am that tree. No, I am that moon. No, I am that building. I'm whatever. It's, you don't see things outside of yourself. You realize that there is no outside of you. It's all you. So how do you get there? Meditation. And to go back, the importance of that is a lot of people have learned techniques. They go Kriya Yoga, they do whatever they're going to do. You know, Saw, the Om technique. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And you need them all. Train the mind, get the conscious focused, and they work. But it's after that formal meditation, after you've done the technique, that is where the power of change comes from. That's when the whispers from the universe softly reside within you, and you realize, as you're bathing in this silence, that you truly are one with God. So when you meditate, don't meditate for anything. Don't meditate for power, enlightenment, nothing. Don't meditate to love God. No strings attached. I love you, God. You don't have to love me back. Don't have to give me any powers. Don't give me nothing. Don't even give me peace of mind. I don't care. I love you, or her, whatever, right? So just learning to love God and surrendering that silence. Just, I'm here, God. I love you. If you're in love with somebody, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to imagine anything. You don't have to talk. You just sit there quietly. If you're truly in love with somebody, you can just sit there with them. Bathe in that love. And that's what it's like after your formal techniques when you meditate. Warming up to that, to get to that place, if you do yoga exercise and you get your body going good, and if you do chanting, that's great. Get your mind focused, read something spiritual, and then do your opening prayers, of course, then do your techniques. Don't count any of that time. That's just the preliminaries. That's the coming attractions. You do that stuff that gets your focus. And then in the silence, that's where you're going. People rush past that. They do all the, the chanting, do all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And well, I've done my techniques. Well, it's 108. I'm good. They count them. Mentally, they count them. That's 96, 97. Okay. They got them all done. And then they sit for a couple seconds or a minute and, okay, boom, I'm good. You haven't? No. Now do nothing. Do nothing. Of course, it was sometimes when I was, I believe this stuff, but I'm focused on technique, kind of. And it doesn't matter if I'm doing Hong Saw, Om technique, Kriya, it doesn't make a difference. They all work. I start to do something, and I don't know, maybe it's a couple breaths, I don't know. Boom, next thing I know, it's an hour or two later, and I'm going, oh, I didn't have to go through it all. It just takes me to the silence. And don't analyze when you're meditating. Am I sitting right? My breath right? Did anything happen? Do I feel anything? Am I having any spiritual experiences? Do I feel uplifted? Is there vibrations? People go through this whole analytical process. That's the mind. Don't analyze. You just do, and then surrender. Just do, Jedi. Just do. That's it. There's no trying. But if you're sitting there analyzing your meditation every day, I remember a journal. Let's see, today I did 108 kriyas, and I felt a little tingling in my spine. I think I did, yeah. And then you just blah blah. And don't. Just, you never know that one time you sit down, you do your meditations, you finish, and you're gone. It's just boom. It feels like it's a million years, and on the clock it may be an hour and a half. It's just boom. There's a whole experience level in that silence. And then when you having an experience in that silence, you don't engage your mind in it. You don't analyze it. Oh, this is what's happening. Is that Babaji? Is this what am I saying? It's gone. If your mind is looking at it and engaged in it, then you're not in the no mind state anymore. Some should happen, you just be loved out, just blissed. End of story. I've had some super things would happen, and you would think when these things happen, because people go, "Oh man, did you ask questions? Did you?" I go, "No, I didn't even get excited. It was just like, okay, the sun's up. Okay, not oh my God, the sun's up." I was just, yeah, you go with it, you accept it. It's like the old stories from the yogis, right? Yeah. You reach samadhi, you go run and tell the guru, "Hey, guru, I reached samadhi and I had this," and the guru just goes, "Here's a broom, go sweep the porch. Here's a mop, go chop firewood. Don't get excited." Too many people, because I watch them online, too many people are into this experience. They're all after the experience. Oh my God, a near-death experience. Oh, yeah, I hope I die someday so I can have that. I'm like, what? Anyway, astral body travel, you name it, and right? I'm talking to ghosts and I'm channeling, and I'm going, you're wasting your friggin' time. Oh, it's like the old yogi that spent 40 years in the mountains and studied under somebody. Then he went and lived alone in a cave for another 30 years. And then he'd come out, and then he could transport himself anywhere in the world, right? And it took him 80 years to learn this. He's telling this young college guy goes, "Hey, I came from America. I just bought an airline ticket and I got here. Didn't have to study. I mean, why would you spend all the time so you could travel someplace, right?" It's like, come on, right? So, and that's true. You don't want cities, powers. Those are a byproduct. It's a gift. If you need them, great. Don't give it any attention. Some comes, you need it, great. If you don't, great. But if you're sitting there, okay, I'm going to make this happen now. So it's, I see people misuse their power. I seen a lot of gurus misuse their power. I mean, until you're cemented in the divine, everything's a temptation. Even the great ones that are, they got all these powers, they've done all these things, yet sex, money, fame, attention, power, greed, all these things, like the last great temptations, right? Because the ones that are really powerful, they're tempted the most. They're really, that negative energy is coming after them. So when you set yourself up as a teacher or as the leader or spiritual or anything else, you start believing that stuff about yourself, you get in trouble. And the people that follow you, oh yeah, no. You got to still be humble. You still got to be real. And you always got to remember that you are one. Whatever you have, share your love. All right, hope that helps you out.
Very much. I will listen to it again and again.
I will throw this for a short period of time on YouTube. I'll send you a link to it. I'll have it as a private video. You can share it to anybody.
Okay.
I don't care. You can give to anybody you want.
Thank you.
I'll just put it as unlisted so anybody has the link and look at it. But this is not formal. I'm not editing it. It just is what it is. But all right. Hope that helped you out.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
20 minutes, so it'll probably be up. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.